How will you react when life is hard? We're going to talk about that today. We haven't done a Disney devotional in a little bit, so I'd like to get back to these. So here's the book that I've been reading out of, and the author takes a Disney movie and relates it to a Bible verse, story, theme, lesson, thing like that. So today we're going to look at Cinderella. Which Disney film have you seen more than any other? We all probably have some that we've watched repeatedly for one reason or another. This is a film I saw regularly growing up because we had it on VHS tape, as we did several Disney films. And even though it's a total princess flick, I'm secure enough in my manhood to admit I've always enjoyed it. It's another great story with lovable characters, frequent humor, and memorable songs. It also served as inspiration for my favorite castle in the world, hopefully yours as well. Let's take some time today to discuss the timeless masterpiece called Cinderella. Cinderella was the first animated film Disney produced in the 1950s. It came into theaters in February of that year, and Disney had not really had a huge hit since Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The studio was $4 million in debt and on the verge of bankruptcy. Thankfully, this one was a huge success, receiving critical acclaim and many honors. The profits from its release gave Disney the ability to finance several other productions, beginning working in television and initiate plans to build Disneyland in California. Cinderella used to be tied with Tiana for the oldest Disney princess at age 19 until Elsa from Frozen came along. Cinderella is also known as the very first non-royal blood princess, having married into her royalty instead. One famous scene where the fairy godmother transforms Cinderella's torn dress into a beautiful gown is said to have been Walt Disney's favorite animation ever. If you've seen this film, you may have thought the voice of the wicked stepmother, Lady Tremaine, sounded familiar. Maybe it's because Eleanor Audley, who provided the voice, was also the voice of the evil Maleficent in Sleeping Beauty, as well as Madame Leota in the Haunted Mansion ride. Eileen Woods, who voiced Cinderella, beat out over 300 girls for the role and apparently didn't even know she was auditioning. She was simply asked by a couple of songwriter friends to sing some of the songs in the early stages of production. Upon hearing them, Walt Disney fell in love with her voice and offered her the role. In her later years, Woods developed Alzheimer's and didn't remember she voiced the famous princess. However, the caregivers at her nursing home stated she was always greatly comforted by the film song, "A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Makes." Cinderella has spawned several sequels and remakes. You may have seen some. The entire movie franchise has been very successful for Disney. Walt Disney loved the story of Cinderella, who was a favorite among his film's heroines. The main reason was that he loved her rags to riches story, which mirrored his own life in a way. If you know anything about Walt Disney's life, you are aware that there were many times he risked all he had to be successful. He faced many hard years, financially tough periods, and risky decisions. In this film, Cinderella goes through many difficult times as well. There are several instances throughout where she is dealt a hard blow. Several times, something good will happen, and just when you think she's going to make it and have her dreams come true, something bad occurs again. But just like Walt, she never gives up, which is what makes this such a great story and film. Cinderella shows true determination, getting some special help along the way to help her succeed. All of us, like Cinderella and Walt Disney, are sometimes dealt setbacks in life. Even when we try hard to be successful, sometimes things just won't go our way. We must all make tough decisions, take risks, and face troubles. Take a look at another parable of Jesus in Luke 18, verses 1 through 8, where Jesus tells the story of the persistent widow. In the story, a widow pleads to a judge daily for help. He finally agrees because of her persistence. She doesn't give up, and it pays off. Jesus was trying to make the point that God will also grant us help if we are persistent and continually cry out to Him. Galatians 6:9 says, "And let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up." In addition, James 1:2-3 tells us we should rejoice in our trials, for they will give us steadfastness or strength to face future troubles. There is no doubt you will face trials. Life will knock you down at some point and may hit you hard. There may even be times when you don't know how you will get back up again. But if you refuse to give up, continually call out to God and use His strength, His words and His love, He will get you through eventually. How will you react when life is hard? How determined will you be to get back up on your feet? Be like Cinderella and never give up. Keep believing in your success, have patience, take it one day at a time, and lean on God in all things. After all, as Luke says in chapter 1, verse 37, nothing will be impossible with God. There's always hope when you're on the Lord's side. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you next time.